What's up, everybody? It's Dominic369 for Occultism Unleashed. Today, I'm dropping a video for you on Jupiter going direct in Taurus. It started its direct motion a few days ago on the 30th, and as it moves forward into Taurus, I'm going to talk about your chart first. But just know that Jupiter is a ruler of the United States' first house. And things are about to crank up overseas, and it's going to be hard to breathe. That's all I can tell you right now. In this, we're focused on your chart in this video. Jupiter in Taurus is a good placement for Jupiter by transit and by your natal chart. By transit through your first house, it gives the tendency to gain weight. If you're not careful, Jupiter will make you blow up like a hot air balloon when it moves through your first house. In your first house, Jupiter going direct symbolizes, it's first and foremost, when the planet goes retrograde, that's just the universe giving you an opportunity to make sure you're integrating the software update to your soul, because that's all a transit does. A natal chart is the operating system and manual to your soul's energy. When a planet goes retrograde by transit, because the planets are always moving, when it goes retrograde by transit in another house in your chart than it was when you were born, it activates energies and downloads and software updates in that area. So when Jupiter is moving through your first house, you're going to want to first understand what house in your chart has Sagittarius on the cusp, because Jupiter is the traditional ruler of Sagittarius. This house is going to be affected. So when Jupiter is moving through your first house, your personal decisions, your personal appearance, the way the world perceives you are going to trigger effects in the house in your chart where Sagittarius are on the cusp. And these effects are going to affect you personally. They're going to affect you personally. Now, if, it's likely, 80 to 90% likely, if you got, Jupiter in your first house in Taurus, that means you got Sagittarius on your 8th house cusp. So this would be dealing with your personal debt, the value that you get from your closest relationships, inheritances, mortgages, tax issues, things like that reflect on the 8th house, and personal transformation. So as Jupiter moves forward in your first house, it's important that you evaluate how you're using Jupiter's energy and if you're allowing it to flow freely and expand in you energetically. A lot of times, if you find that you're not allowing yourself to integrate the energy properly, you are going to find that you do overeat, you do overindulge, you do gain weight. But for those of you who are positively using this Jupiter transit through your first house, you had an opportunity to bring yourself a lot of fortune, a lot of good money, a lot of opportunities, reaping the benefits from international communities. Jupiter is all about growth. And as it moves through Taurus, no matter where Taurus is at in your chart, it's going to be connected to your money situation, because Taurus is the natural ruler of the second house and governs banks. So if it's in your first house, this is a good time for you to run it up, but you have to make sure that you are receptive to the energy of the universe. You have to make sure that you're optimistic about your potential for financial growth and success. And people with Taurus, with Taurus rising, and Taurus in the first house usually are easy to get to the money and don't have a problem with money coming to them. But this is a time where you can really, really benefit and grow and enhance your personal worth. Not just your monetary worth, but your self-worth. Jupiter moving through the sign of Taurus, it helps us accumulate goods and possessions. But are these goods and possessions that you are, pursuing or attracting Are they the things that are going to help you be seen by the world in a way that you want to be seen, that can further expand your benefits in the house that Jupiter rules? With Taurus rising in the early degrees, because Jupiter is transited about 7 degrees right now, 7 degrees Taurus, this would be your eighth house. This would be your eighth house. So are you presenting yourself in a way? Are you demonstrating on king and queen time, because Jupiter is the king of the gods? So when it goes through that first house, it creates the type of energy necessary for you to ascend in your community. For the second house, it's all about that paper. It's all about the paper. And, Jupiter ruling Sagittarius on your ninth house is telling you, if you want to get your bag popping for real, you got to further your education. Ninth house rules, education beyond basic education. It doesn't mean you have to go to college. It means you need to start rocking with some people who know more than you, especially people from the international community. And you have to have faith in the universe and yourself, because the second house is the house of self-worth, and the ninth house is the house of faith, hopes, and beliefs. You have to have, understanding and believe within yourself that you deserve more in this world. You have to understand that, because a lot of times, your prosperity spells and things don't work because your self-worth ain't there. You got to have your second house in order, and Jupiter going through your second house. My baby called me on FaceTime, man. The kid smart. But in the second house, you gotta believe in yourself and your we a lot of times we disqualify ourselves from blessings and things that we deserve, even if it's unintentionally. You have to work on your self-worth if you want to maximize Jupiter's energy in Taurus. And when it was retrograde, you were probably questioning that. Now that it's direct, hopefully you got the information you need to move forward and be comfortable with furthering your education. Joining, groups and reading publications that help you grow your money. And I'm not talking about like credit repair and stuff like that. I'm talking about if your business is on a certain thing and you get your money a certain way, it shouldn't be nobody in your circle that knows more than you about that subject. And with that third house placement, with that second house, Jupiter going direct through your second house, and the ruler, Jupiter ruling your ninth house, you got to be committed to having faith that you can gain knowledge and build relationships in the international community, and long distance relationships that can help you learn more about how you get your money. Third house, Jupiter in the third house direct. This has to do with your siblings. It has to do with family issues, your community. This also has to do with expanding your knowledge, because the third house is a house of basic communication. Are you reading publications? Because Jupiter rules publications and books and things like that. Are you reading more about, community development, expanding relationships and growth in regards to your community? This would benefit you in business, as you probably have Sagittarius on your 10th house cusp. You got Sag on your 10th house cusp, and Jupiter and Taurus in the third. You need to work on building relationships locally and people from your childhood and things like that can help you get where you want to get in your career. The fourth house has to do with your home. It has to do with family karma, real estate, and it has to do with your mother. If you got Jupiter and Taurus in your fourth house, going direct, it's gonna allow you to bring more money into your household, more lavish living if you're doing the right things. And Jupiter, Sagittarius would be on your 11th house cusp, likely be on your 11th house cusp. With it on the 11th house cusp, it's good to hold networking events at your house with people that you're comfortable with, or go to meetings at other people's houses and things like that allow you to build your network and and tap in to wealth streams, and maybe, you know, collectively purchase real estate with a group of people that are reliable. This doesn't mean, you know, just anybody and everybody. This means people who are actually reliable. Jupiter going direct in that fourth house can bring better relationships and better understanding of your mother's decisions during, not your mother, your father. I apologize. The fourth house is the father. You know, working with your father and decisions he made in parenting. Well, you got Taurus on the fourth house. You had a very traditional lifestyle. You know, a kind of stubborn dad who had rules that he always stuck by and things like that. But he may have been extra generous. Now is the time to tap into his network, because the ruler of the fourth, because Jupiter and Taurus in your fourth house, and the ruler being the 11th, you can use your father's network to help you in your endeavors to get real estate and things like that. This also is going to enhance your desire for foreign cuisine, because the fourth house rules food in the kitchen of the house. So this is another place where your belly can get big, man. Don't do too much lavish spending on food unless you're trying to be overweight and have a hard time getting it off. You know, you don't want to have to wait till Saturn go through Taurus and in the next 5.5 years to be able to get that weight off. Trust me. When Jupiter was in Capricorn, that thing went through my first house. I blew up like a beach whale. But we getting back down to the karate body. The fifth house, you're looking at your creativity, investments, how you market and promote yourself, romantic relationships. Now, Taurus is a sign of sensuality and indulging in physical desires. Jupiter moving through that house, you don't want to get caught up in that. You want to invest more of that expansive energy into investments, into inventions. I'll tell you this, man, you know, Taurus is a good sign for inventions, because Uranus is there also. It's about 20 degrees away. But, you know, Venus and Uranus and Taurus, last time Uranus was in Taurus, we had the Industrial Revolution. And that brought about some magnificent technology that changed the shape of the world. So I'm going to tell you now, man, Jupiter in that house, it expands your creativity, especially your creativity in ways of promoting yourself and for getting money, because Taurus is the money getting sign. It's important that you write down your inventions and don't worry about, you know, how you're gonna make them happen. Look for people who can make them reality, especially because, you know, you got a lot of secret ideas, because you got Sag on your 12th house, and this also alludes to you needing to take a little break from, you know, overstimulating and pursuing sensual things, because the 12th house is a house of rest. So you want to chill on that and allow your capabilities and inventiveness and creative power to manifest things that are going to benefit you. That's a good placement for going on vacations, secret vacations, secret trips. On the 6th house, you know, Jupiter in the 6th always going to affect your health for the greater good. Unless you're just overeating, then it's going to affect your health for bad reasons. The 6th house also rules farms. It rules, you know, unions and things like that. So this is going to help you out in the 6th house. You might want to get more pets and things like that. This means you got Sag on your first house, and your health is something that's going to be affected physically. Taurus is a sign that rules the neck and throat, thyroid, parathyroid, the vertebrae in this part of your neck. I think it's C4, 5, and 6. You're gonna want to be focused on things that work on your neck health, and not smoking, not doing things that affect your thyroid. This is also a really good time to work on your throat chakra. The throat chakra governs your medium ability, your ability to communicate with spirits. So having Jupiter in this house is a good time to tap into that. Big shout out to Mystic University, Monica Bey, my spiritual teacher. She got a course specifically on mediumship. It's not the same as ESP and psychic ability. Mediumship focus solely on communicating and seeing spirits. So you want to drop the link is in my bio, not my bio, but in the description of the video. Make sure you jump on that if that's something that interests you. But Jupiter in this house is a house for you to get blessings on your health and really improve your health, because you likely got Sagittarius on your first house cusp. So it's going to affect you personally and your physical body personally, and how people perceive you. If you're a pretty good singer, this would be a good time, because Venus is the ruler of Taurus, and Taurus, and Venus rules music. Not music overall, but the melody in music and the harmony. So if you and again, the sixth house is the house of work and service. So if you are a talented singer, this is a good time to get yourself known while Jupiter is going through your sixth house, because it rules your first house. So the seventh house is relationships, partnerships, legal issues, allies, and open enemies. With Jupiter there, it's a good time to build partnerships and relationships. It brings blessings into your marriage or your long-term relationship, anything that's been going on over a year. It brings optimism, it brings riches, it brings value into that relationship, and allows you to create partnerships that are conducive to where you want to be financially, because you have you have Sagittarius on your second house cusp, likely. So that's going to help you run up your money in business partnerships and things like that. But it also expands your awareness of open enemies and people who are hating on you and destroying your financial capability. You have to, and your self-worth, you have to recognize them during that retrograde period and kick them on out your life so you can get where you want to be. In your eighth house, Jupiter moving forward, this is a time when you're likely to get inheritance, find out if you're in somebody's will, have the aid and assistance that you need to take care of any debts owed. This is really going to help you out financially. And it's also going to help you expand on your personal transformation if you're willing to let go of stubborn belief systems and stubborn thinking patterns, because Jupiter, Sagittarius is over there on your third house, and the third house rule the mind, the mentality, your perception of the world. Got Jupiter transiting through your ninth house. Ninth house is the house of faith, hopes, and belief. Higher education. It's the natural placement of Jupiter, so Jupiter is at home in that house. Jupiter at home in the ninth house, that means you got Sag on the fourth house. Your ability to learn more, your desire to learn more, your willingness to expand your knowledge and faith is going to bring your house into a more peaceful place, into a more exotic place. Because if you got Sag on your fourth house, you like a lot of international influence and books and stuff and things like that in your house. Jupiter going direct in that ninth house is gonna help you get your home in the condition that you want it to be in, and make it more of a educational space for you, and a place that allows you to taste the international community without expending a lot of money on travel. But Jupiter and Taurus in the ninth house will ensure that you got money to travel, long distance travel, places where you got to spend the night at, places overseas and things like that. Jupiter in that ninth house is going to expand that desire to travel. You got Jupiter and Taurus moving through your 10th house, direct in your 10th. This is all about your career. It means it's time for you to start working on books, ebooks, and things like that, publishing knowledge on the information that you have as promotional tools, because you have Sagittarius on your fifth house. The fifth house is the house of marketing yourself to the world. You know, people say it's the house of romance and short-term relationships. You get in a romantic relationship through marketing yourself to your ideal customer, the people that you like. So when you're looking at that 10th house action with Jupiter in the 10th direct, it's totally affecting that fifth house and how you market and promote yourself. You have to show off your skills, your knowledge, what you know, if you want to advance in your career, if you want to be a leader. This is required of you as Jupiter moves through that 10th house. In the 11th house, Jupiter in Taurus improves your network. It expands the finances your boss has available to pay you, your boss or your career. And that would be in the 6th house. The 6th house is a house that rules work and service to the world. This is a time to ask for raise. This is a time, if you're not in a job that's unionized, to start bringing people together to unionize, because the 6th house rules unions, and you see what Jupiter and Taurus has been doing with the Teamsters, busting up UPS, busting up Anheuser-Busch, busting up Amazon. You know, the Teamsters are getting busy this year. So if you got, you know, Taurus on the 11th house and, you know, Sag on the 6th, you want to get busy, you know, personally communicating with unions and union leaders and stuff like that to get your job or place of work unionized. This is also a good time to visit farms and people with farms, animal shelters, and things like that as a means of hanging out and networking. These are the places where you'll get the best results in your networking endeavors. You got Taurus on your 12th house and Jupiter moving direct in Taurus. The 12th house is the house of, you know, psychic activity. It's the house of rest, where we go to recharge ourselves from the world, which could be prison, it could be hospital, it could be insane asylum, it could be drug rehab. And unfortunately, Jupiter and Taurus in the 12th increases your desire to escape from the world and relax in luxury. This would be a good endeavor to do with your spouse or significant other, to allow you to nurture your relationship the right way, because Jupiter be found on your 7th house cusp. And that means you need to kind of get out the public eye and take a break from the world and focus on your relationship and things like that. It's my hope that this reading brings you guys the information you need to be the greatest version of yourself and make not just 2024 a great year, but the rest of your life a great year. Great years for the rest of your life. And again, astrology is a science. It works if you choose to follow the energetic patterns of the universe. If you're looking to get a full reading, you can book that at www.redclawconjure.com. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe. It helps out with the channel. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Peace.